walk down past that fountain, the bonsai exhibit center's down there.
You're not filming me, are you?
Well, it's been a year.
You know, it'd be really easy to look back on 2020 and catalog it as an out-of-control dumpster fire, but
We've really had a pretty good year, and there have been a lot of bright spots, and you all, our community, are really the bright spot.
and I just got to interject this. When we started our channel, we had an idea what we wanted to do. We kind of had an idea what kind of outcome we were looking for. What we didn't anticipate, one of the upsides, one of the cherries to the cupcake, so to speak, is the feedback and all the comments we get from all over the globe. It was just beyond words. It's just so nice.
You've made us laugh. You've made us cry. We've enjoyed meeting you. You know, it's so ironic that in the year of social distancing and being so careful about human interaction, some of the most delightful times that we've had this year were when we had a chance to interact with you. Mm-hmm. And it really started with Mike and Carol. It was just so cool that they reached out to us when they were vacationing in our area, and it's just so neat to have conversations, interactive conversations with some of you through this channel. And then, of course, this year was our first group ride with 7 Cities Spyders, and thanks to Lawrence for setting that up.
Thank you, sir.
And it was kind of cool that some of the folks affiliated with that group had seen the channel and knew a little bit about us, and that was just neat. And then, of course, our very first meetup of our own in July.
Which turned out better than we could have anticipated. It was just so cool.
Yeah, and we were so honored that Ray and Linda drove up from Ocala, Florida, just to participate, and we enjoyed meeting the Virginians, Bill and Kathy, and the North Carolinians, Vernon and Tamika.
Hey, Bill and Kathy.
And Walter and Teresa.
Teresa.
It was just a hoot, an absolute hoot. And then there was that Sunday afternoon in June.
Yes, that's when I was walking back into the garage, and we live on a cul-de-sac, and I noticed, there's a spider coming in the cul-de-sac. I went, spider coming in the cul-de-sac, and he stopped in front of our house. And a voice of nobody I've ever met before said, "Hi, John," and it sort of took me off guard.
It were Rick and Connie, who had been my neighbors many years ago in a lifelong, well, how shall we describe?
Previous life.
Previous life, yes. And it was just so cool to get reconnected with them. And then we got to do a ride with a couple that kept popping up. Tim and Faith, we had met.
Finally.
We had met them in a restaurant at the Outer Banks over a year before, and then again in a truck stop, and it was just so cool to finally have a chance to share a meal with them and a nice ride.
And that meeting has postponed because of a varmint that ran out in front of them and damaging their spider, and their spiders in the shop had to get fixed. Spider versus raccoon lost.
Yeah.
At least we think.
And that doesn't even include the folks that we feel like we have an ongoing dialogue with, Coach Bob and Coach Vic, Ian Thompson from Australia, Les Crowther from Great Britain. We love seeing comments from people that feel like regulars. You feel like friends, and so many others. I love hearing your stories about the spiders you plan to purchase, or life events that have happened. It's just it's just been delightful in a year that has been a little bit short on delight, wouldn't you say?
Well, it has been challenging because it's hard to navigate all the things that you want to navigate because of the virus. It's curtailed some of our activities, but we try to still live life, taking precautions, being careful. We did the big 9-day trip, 10-day trip, I've lost count, where I completed a lifelong goal of riding the entire Blue Ridge Parkway. I've done it in segments, and I've done most of it, but to do it from start to finish in one foul swoop was awe-inspiring, and I have now fallen in love with the North Carolina section of the Parkway because, well, it sort of reminds me a lot of the Rocky Mountains. It's much higher up. The scenery is more grand. It's just very satisfying. Very satisfying.
Yeah, it was great outdoor therapy.
Yeah.
I think that's really been key to mental health this year particularly.
And the Pisgah Inn. So, thank you, Ray and Linda.
It's a great recommendation.
Yes.
And we learned so much because we think of the Blue Ridge Parkway being in our backyard, so to speak. But
4 hours kind of right over there.
But when we rode the length of it, we really learned a lot about the differences in the topography, and there's so many towns to explore that we didn't even have a chance to indulge ourselves in all of that. So
it was we sort of, kept making notes. We're going to have to come back and do this. We're going to have to come back and do that. So we're going to have to go back. We happened to have the meetup over the 4th of July weekend, and our room was configured. We lucked out. We had a room that is connects to a deck which looks into the Shenandoah Valley, and we watched fireworks from multiple locations down in the Shenandoah Valley from our location high above, and to see the fireworks going off these little small towns around the area, and people who were sitting off in their backyard. It was quite spectacular. That was different.
Yeah, it was cool, especially in a year where fireworks were canceled here
Yes.
in our home. This year, even our side excursions were kind of big events, just to get out of the house. But we enjoyed having a picnic lunch near the Dismal Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to go back there and do some hiking. Maybe that'll be a trip
The Dismal
this year.
Swamp is one of those places that's in our backyard, and they've got hiking trails, they've got trails that you can drive on, and we've never really partaken of that because in the summertime, well, it's a swamp, it's full of bugs.
Mosquitoes.
But this time of year, it's fantastic, and that's something we need to do this year. We're going to have a couple of months of cold weather. We won't be taking the Spyder out, and hopefully we'll get over there to the Dismal Swamp and some other local areas to show you what this area has to offer that's unique besides the oceanfront, which is where all the tourists seem to go. There's some really interesting places off of the beaten path.
Yeah, and I'd like to go back on Route 60 it was Route 60 we took
Route
to Lexington.
60. U.S. Route 60 is one of those highways that it starts at the foot of the Lesnar Bridge, about 12 miles over there, and it goes all the way to the California state line. It used to go all the way to the Pacific Ocean, but California decided they replaced that section with interstate, so it goes all the way across the United States. So it's really one of those beautiful stretches of road that we took across the state of Virginia and ended up at the little mom and pop, more of a mom restaurant, the Route 60 Diner.
Well, we finally found a good spot. I think my favorite memory is that day that we were staying at the Pisgah Inn, and we did a triple hike, and it was just with our friends Betsy and Jim. That's part of the reason that it was so special. But one was a wooded hike, another was a hike to a fire tower, and then the final one was a hike to a waterfall, and it was exhausting, but it was just so much fun and so beautiful. It was exhilarating, really. So here we are on the brink of the new year, which is usually a time to kind of set resolutions or
Mhm.
goals for the next 12 months. So what are you thinking along those lines?
Well, I know we want to do more traveling. We want to play catch up for what we didn't get to do in 2020. We've got a couple of trips in the burner. We're still working on the details, which we'll share with you as we start nailing them down a little bit more firmly. Some big trips, some small trips, some day trips, and just to get out and enjoy life. That's, we've reached a point where I think we have worked hard in our life, that we're starting to slow down a little bit from our work routine so we can enjoy life just a little bit more. So I'm really looking forward to that.
We'd love for you to tell us in the comments what's your favorite memory from 2020.
Yes. And
And-
what are you looking forward to for 2021?
We got to keep that dialogue going. I know in naming names of folks that we've met this year that we've left out folks, and please don't take offense to that.
And you know who you are. You know who you are.
Our memories are not what they used to be.
We're just old people.
But please know that we appreciate each and every one of you, and we wish you the very best in 2021, and hope you'll come along for the ride. It's going to be quite a ride. I just have a feeling.
One way or another.
Y'all take care and stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up,
If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
and don't forget to subscribe.
Feel free to leave a comment below.